Hello and welcome to Total War 3 Kingdoms. I'm Matt Morgans, and if you've seen any of our content up till now on the channel, then you probably know me from one of our weekly recap podcasts. Unfortunately today I'm not going to be joined by Jacob. We had hoped to do some duo commentary on this, but we had some issues recording that a couple of days ago, so I'm going to get something out today, and then hopefully we'll be recording again over the weekend, and we can get some sort of co-op commentary. Now obviously this game is currently not out, it's going to be releasing on the 23rd, so huge thanks to Creative Assembly for providing VGR with a review copy. Indeed, I'm going to be putting a link to an interview I did with the project art director and writer for Total War 3 Kingdoms over at Creative Assembly. I'll be putting that in the video description down below. It's in two halves, there's two separate articles because it was a very long interview, and that really goes into a lot about the game and what's going to be in it when it does release. So today I'm just going to be getting into some campaign gameplay, and I've had to think about who I'm going to be playing as, and I think I'm going to start as Liu Biao, Gentleman of the Han. And he's one of the governor characters, so he doesn't start basically able to become the emperor. He, along with, I think it's Ma Teng, and is it Sun Jian? No, Kong Rong. They're all one of the governor characters, so they can't declare themselves emperor. They have to take the seat of somebody else. Now, I'll be putting a link in the video description as well to an article I did about the character of Liu Biao, and I'll also be putting in a link to an article which will be going up today about the character of Huang Zhong, which is his only noteworthy character at the beginning. He's a famous archer who went on to become one of Liu Bei's 5 tiger generals.
火尽灰飞，点亮夜色。董卓权倾朝野，奸浊世间。
You'll note I have it set to Chinese voiceover because I think it's a bit more immersive that way. But you can set it to both English and Chinese voiceover, and there's actually a lot of different settings as to which bits of the audio you want in English or Chinese. We'll also be playing on romance mode. Now there's two game modes in the game, romance and records. Romance is a bit more based on Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the Chinese novel about this period, and it kind of puts a bit more emphasis on the characters. I mean, if you've played Total War Warhammer and you're used to your generals kind of running around as individuals, the generals in romance mode, they aren't as powerful as the generals in Warhammer, but they are individual people who'll be running around, they'll duel one another, they'll have a bit more to say in battle. In records mode, it's a bit more like the historical Total War games like Rome and Shogun, where the generals will have a retinue unit around them, and then that acts as a unit. They won't duel one another, although if you do get two general units in battle, the generals in the units will actually try and find one another and fight, which is quite a nice little touch. And there we go, there's the ruins of Luoyang that has been left by Dong Zhuo after he destroyed the capital and fled to Chang'an. And there he is, the tyrant himself, with Emperor Tian in his grip. Unfortunately, as I'm loyal to the Han Empire, I will not be going to war with Dong Zhuo. He is an ally of mine at the beginning. I think we start with a non-aggression pact, and I'm strongly allied to the Han Empire. Now, the Han Empire is actually a faction in this game, and it's spread all over the map. And rather than being sort of led by a single individual, although I think they technically have a faction leader, they're more like a vassal to whoever holds the emperor. So because Dong Zhuo currently has the emperor in his camp, the Han Empire is automatically allied to him and is automatically at war with any of his enemies, which is why a lot of the characters who start in this are at war with the Han Empire at the very beginning of the game. I think most of the coalition leaders that you can start with are at war with them at the start, and because the Han Empire is so spread out, the Han Empire are very often your sort of starting enemy, if you're not like Liu Biao, starting in combat with the Yellow Turbans. So, Lord Liu Biao, you have been an effective governor, but even your territory is not safe from the rising chaos. Dong Zhuo controls your kin, the Emperor, and it is not unthinkable that he will seek to eventually supplant him. You must ensure the Han dynasty survives, yet the ambitious lurk everywhere. Sun Jian and Yuan Shu have long coveted your territory, so you must tend to your own defences before looking to the rest of China's woes. So we need excuse me. We need to defeat the Yellow Turbans, but be wary of Yuan Shu and Sun Jian. Liu Biao faces war and does not shirk away. You are renowned for your steady hand and calm administration, yet the menace of the Yellow Turbans now threatens your lands particularly. Conflict should be avoided, but there is no choice. Confront and defeat this insurrection. And just like every faction, we start right next to an enemy army, which we need to defeat. And that enemy army is led by Liao Hua of the Yellow Turbans. Now this is going to be a very easy fight. You can see he's only got 2 units to his name, whereas we have 8, and we have 2 generals, Huang Zhong and Liu Kui. And you can see it's going to be very much in our favour, but just so we can kind of show off the battle a bit, we are going to fight this one. It should be a very quick battle. Battle of Zhangyang, which we'll be moving into once we defeat this army. You can see he's just got a couple of units of, I think that's Yellow Turban Warriors. And on our side we've got a couple of Saber Militia, a couple of Axe Band. They're really not the best infantry, but at this stage in the game they're perfectly fine. We've also got some Archer Militia, not very heavily armoured at all, and they're not as good as sort of fully fledged archers, but they'll do their job, especially in a battle like this. Being shielded infantry, they will have a bit of a benefit against archers, but we've also got 2 units of Lancer Cavalry Militia, and they're going to do very well against these, especially if we can just send our army in at the front, get them into combat, and then send our cavalry round the back to sort of mop up. The only real threat in this is Liao Hua himself. Being a general, he is going to be pretty good in a fight, so what we want to do is get one of our generals, probably Liu Kui, into a duel with him. And then we should be able to beat him in a duel. We're not going to really worry about setting up in this battle because we sort of so outnumber the enemy. We are going to group up these guys though and send them around the side. Now while we're marching up, let's just kind of show you what we've got. Let's go into cinematic mode so you can see our Archer Militia running up to the fight there. And ahead of them there's Liu Biao himself. Now, he is a bit of an old man, so we're not going to be sending him into the front line. Plus we want to make sure he stays alive. If he does die in this battle, it's pretty likely that he'll actually just be wounded, but that's still not great for us. Now you can see we've also got our Saber Militia there and slightly heavier armour with swords and shields. And over here I believe you can find the Axe Band. Now they clearly not very heavily armoured, but they've got axes and shields. And over here we have our Lancer Cavalry. Oh! Yep, in fact they... while I was in cinematic mode he was invited into a duel by the enemy. So he's going to go and fight that general. Now while he's doing that, we're just going to move the infantry up. Get our archers shooting into battle. Get the other 2 generals in. Huang Zhong is an archer, so we want to get him into range. And we're going to move our cavalry around the sides. You can see these 2 generals starting to get into battle there. Liao Hua in the black. That battle's going to be going on. I think our general's going to have a slight advantage there. You can see our archers have started to fire in. Now we do outnumber these guys pretty much 2 to 1, so this isn't going to be a very difficult fight. Now is Huang Zhong using his bow? No. How do we get him to use his bow? Toggle fire at will. There we go. Pull out his bow. Enemy units are already fleeing, so we'll send them in to mop up. Actually, no, we'll bring them in and just clear out those Yellow Turban Warriors. We'll let the infantry chase after the fleeing enemies. We're going to get our archers to turn off for now, because we don't want to cause any friendly fire. Battle is going fairly evenly, so I'm not sure if we're going to win this. Now, if Liu Kui does die, it's not a huge problem because we are probably going to disband him and recruit Kuai Liang, who's a strategist, purely because Liu Kui actually isn't very good friends with Liu Biao, and we'd rather have people in our army who are going to get along. Let's see, the battle's swung in favour of our side, so that's good. And the enemy have shattered, so they're not going to be coming back. So we're going to just bring our units back. Oh, he was shooting. I guess he just doesn't shoot very fast. So we'll just watch the rest of this duel before we finish up. And Liu Kui is a vanguard, opposed to, I think, yeah, Liu Biao is a veteran. So vanguards aren't necessarily known for being great duelists. Champions are more the duelist class, but they are, they're both, I think, level 1. So there's not a huge difference in their skills. And it looks like Liu Kui is the slightly better. Oh, right in the face. Very well done. Decisive victory, which wasn't exactly surprising. And we really didn't take many casualties there. We only lost a handful of men. So we are going to get the option now to decide what we're going to do with the captured enemy. And one of the options is going to give us replenishment by essentially recruiting them to serve in our army. But seeing as we barely lost anyone, it's really not worth it. So I think what we're going to do is just ransom them off and get some money. So we gained 334, very nice. Now we could get military supplies, but I think we're doing okay for military supplies. And actually defeating this army is going to give us a mission success, which will give us a military supplies buff. So I think just getting 100 income is perfectly fine there. So there we go, we got the Taste of Victory buff, which is actually giving us plus 30 military supplies. Very nice buff. Liu Biao moves to destroy the Yellow Turban menace. To protect your people, the local Yellow Turban scourge must be purged. Their holdout is nearby. In capturing it, you will not only rid yourself of their threat, but also add a useful territory to your holdings. You should march on it, and quickly. And we need to capture the Toolmaker in Zhangyang, which is up in the mountains over here. And it's actually the one remaining area of our province here in Zhangyang. Now that's as far as we can move in one turn, but we can see there's no Yellow Turban army here, so this should be a pretty easy fight. Meanwhile, in Zhangyang, we could... now, one of the problems with starting with Liu Biao is we do start with a rank 5 city, which is much higher than most of the other settlements that the other factions start with. But what it does mean is that we are currently starting with a food deficit. We're suffering from -3 food, and that is not good at all. We're currently generating 3 food from our irrigated farms here, plus 3 food production, but that's not nearly covering what we need for both our army and our people. And while that's not a huge problem this turn, if we don't solve that problem, it's going to start introducing a hefty public order penalty. We're going to start taking -20 from falling back onto food reserves. And if we let that become too much of a problem, then we could start seeing rebellions. So getting rid of that food deficit is going to be our top priority, really. So if we look at what buildings we have available, we already have land development, because that's what this is. Now, we can upgrade this to farming estates, which will give us +4, but we need, I think it's the sharecropping reform, and that's actually several steps down the reform tree, so we're not going to get that anytime soon. Now, we could upgrade to a food trader, but you'll see that's actually going to give us a food production penalty, because that actually starts selling our food to other people, so we don't want that at all. Unfortunately, we don't currently have any ports, so we can't get food production from fishing. And if we look, we could get government support, which will give us +25% food production, but as you know, we're currently only getting 3 food production total, so a 25% increase really isn't very much. Now, we could get bonus income from commerce and industry, but that's not going to give us a huge benefit. We currently do have a fairly good income, so If words come to worst, we could go the diplomatic route and see if we can buy food from somebody else, and that might just be our way of kind of getting around that for a while. So personally, I think the best thing that we could do right now, because we can't get any major increases to food, is actually just to go straight into schools, because this is going to be a big benefit if we invest in this early. So this is one of Liu Biao's unique building chains. Now you can see it gives us a plus 4% character experience bonus, and if we upgrade that its first step, that'll go all the way to a plus 8, which is a huge benefit early on. So while the marketplace is useful, we're going to invest in a school right now, and then next turn we'll be taking the toolmaker and consolidating this, and then we can... Oh, actually, let's do some assignments. So Kuai Liang is actually the guy we want to recruit next into our army. So we're not going to send him off on an assignment, because they'll be off on an assignment for quite a while. So we're going to take Kuai Yue. Now we definitely don't want to do this, because it's going to give us -6 food. But what we could do is reward the filial and incorrupt, which will give us plus 10 satisfaction and minus 50% corruption. Very useful satisfaction buff, but the corruption bonus is also very good. So we'll send him off on that mission, and we're also going to take Lady Kai, who is the wife of Liu Biao, and she can do tax collection and get plus 50% income from the peasantry. Very useful again. So they'll be unavailable for I think about 10-15 turns, but they'll be off doing that, and they'll actually get experience and satisfaction from sort of being active on assignments. Now you can do assignments in any of your conquered territories. There we go, we killed him in battle, and yeah, we've sent 2 people off on assignment. Oh, and actually we gained a Book of Ceremonies and a Jade Sculptor during that last battle, so let's have a look at our generals. There we go, that's Liu Biao, Gentleman of the Han, legendary commander. Now he starts with Liu Biao's armor, you can see is giving him a huge buff to his authority, which is his best stat. It's also giving him a plus 30% ranged block chance, which is very useful, makes him less susceptible to enemy archers. Doesn't really start with any decent weapons though, he's just got a ceremonial sword, and we don't really have any better options there. He also starts with a white horse. Now we could give him this Jade Sculptor, which is going to give plus 10% income from commerce, but you can see it's going to give someone a plus 6 cunning bonus, so I'd rather save this and give it to Kuai Liang when we recruit him. Now over on our accessories page we currently have Book of Ceremonies. Now look at that, plus 8 authority, plus 4 public order, plus 8 satisfaction. While plus 8 satisfaction would be useful for dealing with any generals who aren't satisfied with their positions, I think we're going to give this straight to Liu Biao, just to buff his authority even further. So if we go over to Huang Zhong, who's our other kind of vital character, he starts with his Huang Zhong's armor, which is a huge satisfaction bonus, so we really don't need to worry about keeping him satisfied. He also just starts with a ceremonial sword again. We don't really have any better options right now. And a grey horse. And he also starts with the heirloom bow of Huang. So although he doesn't start with a great weapon, he has this fantastic bow with enormous base range damage. It's armor piercing, huge range, and it gives him a big cunning bonus. And he can actually fire while mounted and fire backwards, which is very, very useful. So we don't really need to give him anything. Now, we do have Liu Kui. We don't really want him because, as you can see, if we pull up relations, he actually doesn't get along with Liu Biao because of past events. So although he and Huang Zhong do get along, I'd rather recruit Kuai Liang and get a strategist in, because then that will let us recruit better archers and trebuchets. But we're not going to get rid of him straight away, because we do want to move into Zhang Yang, and his cavalry are going to be fairly useful there. So I think that's all we can do this turn. Oh, so there we go. So this is He Yi, who's one of the 3 playable Yellow Turban characters in the Yellow Turban DLC, which is actually available from day one. And he's really going to be our primary enemy at the start. He's down in Runan. And because he's at war with our vassal, we really need to get rid of him straight away. And the problem is, he starts with his faction heir in a separate army, Herman. Herman, the most powerful, as you might see. Oh, there we go, bonus experience for Liu Biao. That's very nice. And we're going to move straight into Zhanyang. Now, you'll see that we actually have a pretty hefty advantage here. However, them being in a settlement does give them the advantage of arrow towers. And right now, arrow towers are very, very good. It's actually something that has been discussed if you've watched any of the official Creative Assembly live streams. They've actually had a couple of instances in recent live streams where arrow towers have almost assassinated the different generals. In fact, there was one recent live stream where Liu Biao himself was killed by arrow towers, and they actually think that that's currently a bug that's hopefully going to get worked out very soon. It should be removed by launch, certainly. So we actually don't really want to risk any of our characters, so I'm willing to just delegate that, because we'll probably actually do better from a delegation in this case. And we won't have to go up against those arrow towers. There we go, close victory. We actually didn't really take any significant casualties there. And we're just going to occupy. And we've got our support from the people bonus for completing that mission. And we've also united our province. So, the Elder Statesman provides for his people first. The lands that you so wisely govern, Liu Biao, are primed to develop. The industrial infrastructure is strong, a solid foundation on which to build. Through this development, your economy will grow, allowing you to field more forces and develop your territory further. So we just need to construct or upgrade a building in Zhanyang. And we might have actually gotten that immediately. No, I guess because we built a school last turn. It didn't count that towards that. So if we'd had an upgrade that was already going, I think if we'd completed that this turn, it would have counted. So we just need to upgrade something. Now we've got a pretty nice treasury at the moment. So I think we're going to upgrade to our guard posts, because as you can see, it's going to give us a public order bonus, and that's going to be very useful when we fall onto food reserves. In fact, have we done that now? No. So because we've conquered this territory, we're losing faction support because this was a Yellow Turban faction. But actually, because we got that plus 25 faction support buff for completing the mission, that problem should go away very quickly. They'll be very quickly sort of brought over to Liu Biao's faction. The problem that's going to happen next turn, I think, is we're going to fall back onto food reserves, and then that's going to give us that minus 20 penalty. So we want plus 4 public order a great deal. So that'll take 2 turns to upgrade. Now, over here, I think we can actually get rid of Liu Kui now and bring in... so we want to recall the selected retinue. And now we're going to recruit Kuai Liang. And you can see he gets on very well with everyone. And he's also going to bring in some archer militia in his retinue, which is always good to have more archers. Now we are going to want to replace those cavalry, but we're not going to do that straight away. In fact, we're going to try and recruit some infantry of Jing, which are, I think they might be one of Liu Biao's unique units. I'm not 100% sure about that. They're also quite expensive, so that's going to be all our treasury. I've got some more people we can recruit, but we don't need to recruit anyone straight away. Construction complete. Faction rebellion, or faction events rather. Liu Biao and Huang Zhong are better friends because they fought side by side in battle. We fought well and won. Great to see. Because if they're good friends, it'll give them a bonus when they're working together, but also if one of them dies in battle, the other one will sort of go into a rage and get a buff against fighting the enemy. Now, one thing that we need to look at that we haven't looked at yet is the court. So, ordinarily in a faction, you don't have these roles. Ordinarily, when you started in a new faction, all of your court positions are locked because you unlock these as you improve your faction rank, and you start at a pretty low faction rank. Now, because Liu Biao is kind of built around leveling up his characters as quickly as possible with all that bonus character experience, you can run into a bit of a problem, which is that as people grow into higher rank, they desire higher positions. In fact, Huang Zhong, I think, does currently have a penalty for desiring a higher court position. It's just that he's got so many bonuses, it's not really a problem right now. And because you don't have any open slots at the start, if you recruit loads of characters with high rank, you'll find that they are unsatisfied because you can't give them higher positions. And to make up for that, Liu Biao has these extra positions that he can put people in, and he can actually put someone into this post right away. So currently, I don't think we have anyone who's actually dissatisfied. Only Liu Kui, and I think that's because he's got rivalries within the faction and rivalries passes by. So we're not too worried about Liu Kui for now. He's still got plus 57. So if he becomes dissatisfied, we might give him an ancillary to just keep him happy. So for now, we can just focus on the benefits of this post. Now this post, so you see, because they're a student, they have to be within the age of 18 to 35. So unfortunately, we can't put Huang Zhong or Kuai Liang into this post. Ideally, we'd like to do that, but they're just too old. But we could put Lady Kai in, and you'll see it's going to increase their salary, but it means they have no desire for higher office until they reach rank 3, and actually it's going to give them plus 25% character experience, which combined with that bonus from schools, I think for now it'll be plus 29, but if we upgrade that it'll go up to plus 33, which is a huge bonus. So what we want to do is put Lady Kai in here so that she can kind of quickly reach rank 3, and then we can just swap it out and use this almost like a training post for new characters. So we are going to appoint Lady Kai to the position, and while she's off on her assignment, she'll now be getting a load of bonus experience. So we can't really do anything else because we've got almost nothing left in our treasury. We've secured the commandery. That's all fine. Now the one thing we haven't really done anything about is food. We're still on -3 food. So let's have a look at what we can do diplomatically. So as you can see, we're currently at war with He Yi. As I said, he's really our starting opponent. And we're also at war with the Yellow Turban Rebellion. But now that we've cleared out the rebels here, the only real threat is coming from He Yi. Now, we do have Yuan Shu adjacent to us here. We're not at war with him, but he really, really doesn't like us. And so we are going to have to deal with him at some point. There's also a danger that he may declare war on us. Now, I think he's at war with the Han Empire and Dongzhou, because he's one of the coalition leaders. So initially he may not want to bother with us, but he also might be a good person to take out just to kind of expand our territory, which is one possible solution to our food shortage. So at the moment you can see he does have superior strength, so we don't want to move on him right away. So we're not going to deal with him yet. Now we do also know about Sun Jian. I think he's down south somewhere. We're actually not going to deal with him at all yet because there's going to be a story event which is going to give us the choice to declare war on him anyway. So we're just going to leave that for now. Now in our position we actually start with 2 vassals. We have Kai Mao and we have Huang Zu. They both start as vassals. So they're both very friendly to us. So we could trade with one of them, or we could trade with Dongzhou, or we could trade with the Han Empire. Now in our position we only have one trade agreement active, or available rather. So whoever we trade with, we won't be able to trade with anybody else. Now we want to stay on good terms with the Han Empire because they are, they're the Han Empire. We're a loyal servant of the Han. Even if Dongzhou is a tyrant and whatnot, and we're currently friendly with him for now, we'd rather see Dongzhou gotten rid of and the Han Empire kind of restored. So let's have a look and see what we can do with the Han Empire. You can see that they have a lot of territory around here. So diplomatic treaties. We can get a non-aggression pact very easily. We don't need to give them anything to do that. So that'll help towards improving their relations towards us in the future. Now, they're not going to be a good source of food because you can see they're very poor food. So that's not going to be any use. We could get a trade agreement. We're going to get 350, and they have low trade influence. So that's one possibility. But could we get a better trade agreement with anybody else? We could get 416 from Dongzhou, and he actually doesn't have any food, but he's quite rich with his treasury. And with our own allies, we'll just cancel that. So Huangzu. Oh, we don't actually share a border with them, so we can't trade with him. Oh, I wonder if we can't trade with them because they're our vassals. That might be a thing. In that case, we're going to trade with Dongzhou. As much as we don't like the tyrant himself, we do want that trade. And actually, we've got a bit of a bonus there, so we'll see if we can get anything else. We could request a payment. Yeah, we can get 50 gold out of this. Can we get any more? A little bit more. Oh, okay, we can get... we want to get... Oh, there we go. There we go. We'll request 226 gold and a trade agreement. There we go. Now, although Dongzhou doesn't have any food right now, I think he does actually start to build up food fairly quickly. So we might actually go back to him and if you go here, now you see we can request food trade, and that is probably going to be our immediate answer for dealing with our food for now. But they can't feed their own people yet, so not a great choice for that right now. So we're not going to be able to get food through diplomacy just yet. But yeah, you see we did get a bit of extra gold there, which is always good. And that's going to be the end of our turn. Oh, there's a Han Empire army. Now, we're not at war with them, so although they actually... I don't think they have permission to be marching through our lands, so if we were an AI faction, we'd probably take umbrage at that, but I think they are probably on their way to fight Yuan Shu or the Yellow Turbans, so I don't need to worry about that army. Now, we're currently mustering this army here, so I'd like to keep recruiting, and we, I think, have enough to recruit another unit of Spear Guard. Oh, the Infantry of Jing, rather. They do have they're very good against mounted, they've got good morale. Actually, I don't know that we need two of these, because if we're going to go and fight the Yellow Turbans, they tend not to have a lot of cavalry. So what we need is stuff that's going to be good against infantry. Now, the Giant Sword Guard are a good choice for that. They're going to be better than the majority of the peasant infantry fielded by the Yellow Turbans. And they block melee attacks, they're good frontline. And they're going to be better than the Saber Militia, although they are obviously more expensive. The G Militia they're very good defensive infantry, even against infantry. Obviously, they're primarily anti-cavalry, but the best option I think is going to be archers. Oh, and also we could get cavalry, but the Yellow Turbans have a tendency to recruit a lot of spear-wielding peasant militia. And although the cavalry would win that fight, the fact that their spears gives them bonuses against cavalry, so it wouldn't be a great trade. Certainly not for their value. So I think we want to focus on archers, and if we can recruit trebuchets, that'd be... Oh, we can recruit trebuchets. Now, they've got a lot of upkeep, so I don't want to recruit them straight away, but the fact that we can recruit them with Kuai Liang is a very nice benefit. So I think we're just going to recruit some archers for Kuai Liang. Now we could recruit crossbowmen, but they don't have as good range, and they're mainly good against armor. And the Yellow Turbans, not known for fielding very heavy armored units, tend to be a lot of unarmored peasants. So regular archers, medium bow infantry is going to be what we want. We'll bring in 2 units. Now we want to make sure we've got a good enough front line to fend off any attacks trying to get to our archers, especially if we're fielding 6 archer units. So we're going to recruit some more infantry. We'll just recruit some G militia. Actually, we can afford to get the Tian Sword Guard. Yeah, we'll recruit some Tian Sword Guard. Because I think what we're going to do first is move on this iron mine in Runan. Capture that territory first. We're not going to move yet because we're mustering, So that's going to take us a couple of turns just to muster that army. It is going to hit our income, but we're doing okay for now. There we go. See, we've fallen onto food reserves and we're now getting minus 20 negative public order, which is really, really not good. It'll be a while before we start to get an actual rebellion start, because we're only on minus 5 public order total. But it's still something we're going to need to deal with, because it's also going to hit our... I think it's going to be hitting our population. Minus 40,000 from reserves. We've got 865,000 people in this commandery, but minus 40,000 is a very hefty penalty. So we need to move into new territory, we need to get access to more farms. And honestly, Nanyang may be the answer there, just so we have another town that we can build farms in, because Runan does start with a pretty hefty army. Nothing else that we can really do this turn, we're just mustering. Let's have a quick look at our characters. Everyone seems perfectly happy, we don't have any ancillaries to hand out, I don't think. Let's have a quick check. Oh, we do have a wooden ox. Oh yes, and we were going to give the jade sculptor to Kuai Liang. So there we go. His satisfaction's fine, and this is actually a bonus to resolve anyway. We don't have any champions to give that to for the resolve bonus, so we may give it to Liu Kui just to keep him happy. He's got plus 57. You know what, we're going to give it to Liu Kong for now, who's our faction heir. We'll give it to anyone if we need to give them a satisfaction bonus. And otherwise, I think that's going to be... Actually, we'll have a look and see if we can get any food. Who has food? Kai Mao has food, but not the amount that we need. Sun Jian has no food and he hates us anyway. He Yi we're at war with. There we go. Dongzhou has... See, he's gone up to 5 food, so he's clearly generating a lot of food. He may be our best bet. I don't think... they're still very poor. Kai Mao. Huangzhou does have food. We need about 6 to make up for our deficit. Oh, no. We could do with 3. 3 food would at least get us to 0, and we wouldn't be falling in reserves. So maybe Huangzhou is the answer. Depends if he actually wants to give up his food. So we've got minus 7.5 on the idea. That's probably a better deal than we'd get from Dongzhou, because he's already a friend. So what do we need to do to make this work? If we pay them 338 per turn for 10 turns... Can we give them any ancillaries, maybe? I don't know if we have any ancillaries to give. Trade ancillaries. We lack the necessary assets. Ooh, what if we took the... That thing we just gave to Liu Kong? The clay ox. We'll remove the clay ox. I wonder if we can give him the clay ox, because we don't really need it right now. Trading ancillaries is a good way to not sort of have to rely on income purely. So let's request that food. We'll go down to 3 food, and we'll give them the wooden ox. That's a +2. That's a lot less money. Okay, so they've removed the trade ancillary on to make that work. So let's throw in the ox again. There we go. So we can now reduce... Oh. Okay, so we can reduce it down to 272. I think that's okay. Deal signed. There we go. So that'll get rid of our food. We've got enough income to pay 280, 270, whatever it was, for 10 turns. And it does give us... it buys us time to start getting more food. You can see we've gone back down to 0 food. So that should get rid of the reserve penalty. But of course it does sort of limit our army generation, because that's going to be eating up food, and our people are eating food as well. So We definitely still need to find a more permanent solution. Now the problem is, I think Yuan Shu is still more powerful than us. I'm interested in what he's doing, because he seems to be moving in to fight Yuan Shu, and he's not got a very large army. So he's either just scouting, or he's actually going to fight. Oh, there we go. We got the construction cost buff for building a building in Zhanyang. War will always come, and Liu Biao will be ready. Although war has been best left to others, my lord, there is no choice now but to forge your legacy in the crucible of battle. You will need to muster more forces, raising armies that can defend China against all enemies. Recruit and maintain total of 17 units. We currently have 15. Okay, that's not too bad. We're still mustering, but should be ready in about 2 turns. Let's see. We don't have much of a treasury right now because we just recruited a load of new units, so we can't get any building upgrades. I'd like to get this, but I'm going to have to wait till next turn to get that plus 8% character experience. But what we can do is choose a reform choice. Now, we've currently got this already, which is giving us plus 10% character experience. Again, even more character experience, which is very useful. But what we really want now is either a bonus to income or a bonus to food. Now, we can't actually upgrade our farm until we get sharecropping, which is down here, which unlocks a load of farming buildings. But as you can see, we need 2 steps, or I think maybe 3, so we might need that to get this. Oh, no, we just require a building. So we need to build a new farm building, and we need to get 3 reforms, which is going to take a while. So that's not very reliable. But we could get plus 10% income from commerce. Useful, and it does unlock some useful buildings, but we currently don't have much in the way of commerce. We could get minus 8% recruitment cost, which is certainly useful. We could get military supplies, not hugely useful right now. We could get public order, and that does unlock a new building. We could get income from peasantry, or we could get a new administrator position. And over here, a trade agreement. We could get another trade agreement. That would be useful for income. That might be worth more than getting a 50% income from peasantry. Spies is not useful right now. Trade influence isn't hugely useful right now. Minus 10% salary is nice, but I think we'll get more money overall from foreign envoys. 30% income from commerce, very nice, but as I said before, I don't think we're generating a lot of commerce income right now. So, nice thing to go into, but I think for now, Liu Biao is nice, 25% trade influence, and it does unlock a new crossbow unit. But I think we need to just get money for now. So we'll go with foreign envoys, get a new trade agreement, and then start trading with somebody else to get income. So now that we've got that, let's go to... Who are we trading with right now? I think we're trading with Dongzhou, right? Yes, we're currently trading with Dongzhou. So what about trading with the Han Empire? We can get 339 from them. And I think we just can't trade with our vassals. I'd guess because they're vassals, maybe they're already kind of technically trading with us. So the Han Empire is basically the only one. Let's negotiate with them. Trade. And let's see if we can get a little bit extra. We'll request payment. Okay, sure. 0.3 is fine. There we go. So that's going to give us actually a little bit more than we're paying them for food anyway. Or we're paying Huangzhou for food, I think. So we're actually made up for that little bit of outgoing treasury. I think we're still recruiting over here. Yep, still mustering. We've got full military supplies, so we're ready to move out as and when. Got some new people to recruit, but I don't think we really need to recruit anyone. We've got a lot of characters in our court right now, and we don't have a lot of open positions, so this is all fine. So I think we're just ready to finish that turn. there goes the Han army. It does look like it's heading for Nanyang, which is fine by me because I kind of want to hit Runan first, and I don't want to just get into a war with Yuan Shu. Oh, Yuan Shu is at war with He Yi. That's probably good. We actually got bonus experience for Liu Biao. Still not enough to rank up. He's still rank 3, but we actually did get a rank up on Lady Kai from that. I think she's getting like almost plus 40% character experience from all of our different bonuses. Now she already has Clarity and Stone Bulwark, so we could get Dignity, or we could get Mobility. Mobility isn't hugely useful because she's not currently in an army. We could get Faction Support, but only if the character is Prime Minister, Heir, or Faction Leader. Again, that's only really useful in battle, so I think we're just going to go with this one because of the Authority bonus. There we go. Certainly she may be useful to recruit at some stage, but for now I think it's best to keep her in the student position while she's on assignment and just kind of get as much experience as we can. Now these units are almost finished. One turn until. So we'll wait one more turn and then we'll move them down to Xiangyang and then start heading towards Runan. I'm a bit wary about He Yi because he's probably mass recruiting peasants. Commanderies, what's this? Construction available. Oh yes, so we could... Ooh. Now see, we could upgrade to a station garrison which would give us +8 public order and boost our reserve capacity. Now the +8 public order is definitely the bonus there. It does also increase our garrison, which makes moving away from Xiangyang less risky. But we dealt with our food problem at least for the time being. So public order, we're actually not taking any penalties. So I think we're going to focus on and actually get the county academy and get that +8% character experience buff. That only takes one turn to upgrade to. We'll just give them one more turn. Won't recruit any new units just yet. I think I'll move down to Xiangyang and do it there. Yeah, not really anything else we can do this turn. Everyone's fine. So we'll just end that turn. Let's see, what have Han Empire going to do? Huangzu demands a guarantee of autonomy and he'll receive 1,295. Now I think that means... because he, as a vassal, he doesn't have a lot of options. I don't know if that means I let them do what they want, as in like they become a non-vassal, or whether he just gets more options. He is defiant, which means if I keep repressing him that he might start disliking me. So, he does like me at the moment, so if I give him autonomy, I feel like he's not going to misuse it. And it would boost the attitude consequence of both him and Kai Mao. I mean, I'm not getting a lot of benefit from him at the moment, so yeah. Have your autonomy. And we'll see if that actually means he's a vassal. Let's see. Huangzu demanded a guarantee of autonomy. I think he's still... yeah, he's still a vassal, so it must be that he just doesn't have to ask me every time he wants to do something. That's fine. There we go, I'm fully prepared, so I'm going to switch to Forced March and march down to Xiangyang. Can't quite get there in one turn, but that's fine. Now I've got my county academy. I could upgrade the Tool Forge. I think I probably want to do that. It's given me +5 prestige already, so I'm not getting any bonuses there. But it gives me... it doubles the income from industry. It gives me the same reserve capacity. It doesn't really change anything else, so it's just a boosted garrison and boosted income. But that's certainly worth it, and I've got the money, so... there we go, that'll take 3 turns to upgrade. And he'll be in Xiangyang next turn. I might recruit some trebuchets before I head down to Runan. That's fine. And nothing else I can really do this turn. I'm just manoeuvring for the time being. and there's no enemies to worry about, so... can I do anything diplomatically? Probably not. Yeah, let's head on to the next turn.
考虑一下我们的建议吧。
Oh, we will make regular payment to Dongsho of 191, and we'll allow military access between our factions. No, I don't need military access from you, so I'm not going to pay for it.
这可怪不得别人。
Dongsho is not going to be around for too long. He gets assassinated by Liu Biao fairly early on, and then he'll be replaced by Dongmen. So, given that I don't like... Ooh, honourable versus deceitful. You're in discussion with one of your scholars. You put it to him that honour is the ultimate virtue, unassailable and true. He returns that honour and virtue may make one's soul rich, but never one's pockets. Penniless is the virtuous man. Victorious is the pragmatic leader, he laughs. So, I could choose honour. I greatly deepen my relationship with Liu Biao and Huang Zhong. And following choice requires that you don't have the deceitful trait. I don't, that's fine. Or I could deepen the relationship between Liu Biao and Lady Kai. I mean, they are married, but they're currently, they get on perfectly fine already. I feel like I get more out of it for Huang Zhong, so I'm going to go with honour. You refuse to even countenance the idea, sending the scholar away in shame. And Huang Zhong. There we go. Let's get out of... oops. Get out of Forced March. And we'll enter Zhangyang. Can I recruit this turn? I can. So let's get those trebuchets. Always useful. And I've got money, so let's get a bit more infantry. Should we get some more Chen Sword Guard? They're expensive. We don't have any cavalry, but I don't know that that's going to be hugely useful. We've got loads of archers. I think we just need some... Let's see, we've got 2 axe bands, 2 saber militias, 1 Jen Sword Guard, 1 infantry of Jing. We need some defensive people to protect the trebuchet, so I'm going to recruit some G militia. And yeah, we can afford to recruit 2, I think. So we'll go with maybe just some saber militia. So that'll take a couple of turns. Oh, we got some character developments. Ah, Liu Biao is rank 4. Perfect. Let's see. He's already got a lot of bonuses. We could pick up the Nature's Ally buff, which is a very nice speed and morale bonus in battle. We could get mobility, plus 10 morale when attacking, plus 25% battle running speed. That's very nice. We could get understanding, unlocks an assignment, plus 1 starting rank for all recruits. We could get flexibility, minus 25% redeployment cost. I think we'll get mobility. And I think, oh, Kuai Yue also ranked up while he's on his assignment. Abundance, ooh, food production. I don't know if he has to be a general to do that. I think he might have to be. So we'll do it anyway, and then when he finishes his assignment, we'll see if we can recruit him as a general and just sit him in one of the cities and get some bonus food production. That would definitely help. Unfortunately, I think he's going to be on assignment for a fair few turns. Let's see, we're mustering this turn, so nothing else we can really do. We should, I think, get that mission success for needing 17 units. I don't know if we'll get that straight away, or if we have to muster first. Oh, another Han Empire army. Wang Kuang. Arrange marriage? I could send Liu Kui off to marry Wang Baolan. They don't like each other, so that's not great. But Wang Kuang will pay me 784 for it. And Wang Kuang is neutral. I mean, Liu Kui is the only general who's not happy right now. But I feel like that's not very much, and they don't like each other, and I'd be giving him a general. No, I'm going to reject that. Yes, I did get the 17 units buff. Plus 50 bonus experience for units per season, and plus 10% replenishment. The Eternal Governor looks to expand his steady rule. It is clear now, my lord, that your skills for administration would be best utilized if you controlled the entire commandery. With a stable territory, governed by your just hand, you will be best placed to weather the howling storm raging through the realm. I need to hold 3 settlements, currently have 2. Ooh, the minister Wang Yun, fearing the tyranny of Dongzhou, sends his adopted daughter to the capital. His plan is to have her destroy the relationship between Dongzhou and his adopted son, Le Bu. And indeed, that's going to have bad repercussions for Dongzhou in a few turns. People are currently happy, that's good. We'll be ready in 2 turns. And then we can move on. We could move on Nanyang and declare war on Yuanshu, but I think we're still... where's Yuanshu? Ooh, strength is similar. Much as I do want to get rid of the Yellow Turbans, I feel like expanding territory here would be worth it. And I think... We can't see it, but I think Yuanshu has this bit as well. So we could claim Nanyang. If we can push him out of Nanyang... That would be very, very good. The question is what his military is actually like. Having the trebuchets will make us much better in sieges. And right now, He Yi seems to be more concerned about Jiangsha. So... Oh, he's actually taken Runan. Oh, that makes the decision then. Okay, we're hitting Nanyang. Because we're not going to march all the way around to fight He Yi. So, looks like we're going to war with Yuanshu. In that case, we don't have a huge treasury left, so I think we're just going to have to move in with the army that we have. We might just take a peek and see what he's got in Nanyang, because presumably if he's taken Runan, he may have an army in Runan. In which case, taking Nanyang and then sitting there as a defensive position might not be a bad idea. That's all fine. I don't think I can afford to do any no building upgrades this turn, so end turn. Is this so wrong? Oh, everyone's trying to marry off Liu Kui. Again, they don't like each other, and you're going to pay me even less. No. Liu Kui is apparently a very eligible bachelor. Either that, or those faction leaders are desperate for another general. Let's see. I'm not generating a huge amount of income, so boosting income would be a good thing to do. I could get military supplies from this, but I think the public order bonus is going to be more useful. So I'm going to wait until I can afford the second upgrade on that one. And I can't afford anything else right now, so... this is going to be ready in 1 turn. I'd rather go in with full units. What I might do... Can I raise an army? How much does it cost? Oh, quite a lot to raise a new army. I'm thinking about maybe just raising a small army to be sort of a scouting force so that I can see what's in Nanyang. It'd be pretty cheap to recruit some of these rank 1 strategists. And then just give them like a unit or two. I could recruit Jan Yong. No, it's not going to. I don't think it's going to be worth it with our treasury. Oh, I do have a reform choice. So let's see if I can get some income. Let's see, trade influence, buildings from commerce, 10% character salary might be good. 10% income from commerce, 50% income from peasantry. That might be the best option. Yes, I think income from peasantry is going to be bigger than our income from commerce. So we'll go with register of land and population. That did boost our income a bit. Because yeah, I don't think we currently... Oh no, this is the only commerce building that we have, and we're only getting 200 from it. So a 30% increase would only be about 600? Oh, sorry, 60 even. 600. What's this? Construction available. Yes, I know, but I can only do one thing and I can't afford the other one. So that's fine. And I think we're still on, yeah, 1 turn. Ooh, that's interesting. He's moving up into Nanyang. I don't know what he thinks he's going to do with 3 units, but I wonder if I move in on Nanyang that he might actually come in as reinforcements. Sun Jian's been killed by Huang Zu at the Battle of Jiangyang. Cut down in a hail of arrows. Oh, that is actually... that's a historical event, I think. But I don't know if that's actually guaranteed to happen. So that's great. Sun Jian's dead. Sun Ce, the Little Conqueror, will be taking over in his place. Although I'm not sure we're even far enough into the game for him to be of age. So I don't know if it's going to be Sun Jian or maybe his wife might take over the faction. That's great though, because it means we don't have to deal with Sun Jian. Although we will probably get a mission to attack the Sun faction to reclaim the Imperial Seal at some point. Right, this is all ready, so we're not going to just rush in. We're going to move up to this bridge, see if we can see. There's no army there. Oh, Lady Kai ranked up to rank 3. Fantastic. We can get intensity or dignity. We'll go with dignity. And in fact, we might switch her court position. No. We'll leave her as student for now. But let us declare war on Yuanshu. And maybe this is a huge mistake, but hey ho.
我等坚若磐石，尔等尽可来攻。全力奋战，吾等大业，天意所归。
Let's fight this. Let's show off our trebuchets. We haven't had a battle in a while. Now we do need to be wary of those arrow towers. They do cause pretty high damage, and they do have a propensity for assassinating commanders, so we need to make sure we keep Kuai Liang out of danger. But we do have a lot of archers and our trebuchets. Our trebuchets are going to be very useful.
已无任何荣耀可言，却是我们应为之事。
Indeed, we want to avoid war as much as we can. We are a governor after all. Our focus is on governing the people in an honourable fashion, not waging war across the land. But Yuan Shu likes to declare himself emperor way too early, so I think getting rid of him now would be a useful thing. Now we do outnumber them a great deal. They do have, I think, 6 units, but they don't have any actual characters. So one of their units will be effectively like a sort of pseudo character, which I think might give them like a leadership buff. I'm not entirely sure how that works. So we want to get rid of them and just break morale, but I think our focus is going to be on just rushing the settlement gates as quickly as possible so that we can take away the benefit of their arrow towers. And raining our trebuchets down on them is going to be very useful for that. Obviously, keeping our casualties to a minimum is also a priority here, because with no army here, that means Yuan Shu's armies are somewhere else. And there's no doubt that he has armies. Our faction strength was supposed to be about equal. Let's see what the battle's like. Okay, it is a mine, so mines tend to be pretty defensible because they're usually up in the mountains and you have this sort of tiered system. It does mean that they don't have very many arrow towers though. They've only got 2, and we can basically... Ooh. In fact, if we attack this gate, we could hide our troops in the trees and not even have to deal with this arrow tower. I think these ones they can just about see, but I'm not sure they actually have line of sight with these rocks in the way. So I think this gate is going to be our focus. Now, attacking only one choke point does take away our advantage of numbers to an extent, but we do have overwhelming numbers, so we'll just hold back some of our forces and move in piecemeal. And also we'll have archers. Oh, do we have vanguard deployment? Kuai Liao appears to be giving his units vanguard deployment. That's very nice. Means I can start some archers closer to the action. So we'll start these guys in a separate group. We'll put Kuai Liang with them. And we'll keep these guys back in a separate group, and our trebuchets will be on their own. We definitely won't be giving them vanguard deployment. We want them as far back as possible. Oh, wrong units. There's the trebuchets. Now we'll spread these guys out as much as possible. There we go. And we'll put these archers... we'll put them over here. There we go. Now our infantry... actually, I'm going to break these into 2 groups and send our more heavily armoured shield infantry in first. So we'll keep the G militia back to protect the trebuchets. So let's put them in a group together. And we'll put our saber militia... Let's see, missile. They have missile defense. These guys don't. So the axe bands don't have missile defense. So we want the saber militia to go in first. So we'll put them in a single group here. And I think, yep, we can adopt loose formation. So that'll protect us from the rains of arrows. And we'll put our second units in behind them. Move Huang Zhong over there. Liu Biao. And then our main archer group, we can actually give these guys vanguard deployment. So we're going to hide them in the woods. Yep, they are... Oh, Kuai Liang isn't hidden. Oh, there we go. Now he is. Right, so let's start the battle. So first of all, let's... Yep, they've pretty much grouped up around this one area. Now they do have some cavalry. Let's get these trebuchets firing in. They are firing back, but I think being in the woods is going to give them a decent advantage. We'll move these guys up behind. We want to let our front line absorb as much of the missile fire as possible. Oh, they're actually rushing out. So we're going to pull out of loose formation, and they must be trying to get rid of our archers. So we're going to rush in front of our archers. Let's make sure he's firing, toggle fire at will. And we'll move our second group of archers up. Oh, their cavalry are moving in. That's not great. So let's get our infantry of Jing. Oh, we want to make sure
友军正在遭受攻击
that。our trebuchets are protected here. It's not a great matchup for them against the cavalry, but we can move our G militia up.
完全不屈。 胜利就在眼前。
Our infantry of Jing are definitely going to have a good trade against those cavalry. And they have broken. Now they're probably going to come back, so we want to keep pursuing them for a bit. But we do want to move up and take these arrow towers, because they're raining fire. Oh, Huang Zhong is taking a lot of damage. Okay, let's move him back. Let's actually activate this. Get that bonus against ranged fire. Let's get them firing on these saber infantry.
敌军已发现我军。高呼准备，动作快点，剑甲不留。矛兵听命，时机已至。
I'm actually going to pull Huang Zhong back because I'm worried he's getting shot at, and we really don't want him to die.
发时刻听命，发射。
We're actually going to start firing at those arrow towers with our trebuchets.
勇士，快快快！弓箭手听命。弓箭手注
Actually,
意
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take two of my archer units. Oh, are they out of ammunition?
射手
They
在此。
might well be.
敌军四散而
No,
逃
what are，they doing?
到底是无胆鼠辈。动作快点。
Okay, well we're going to move up and we're going to capture these arrow towers. Oh, in fact, the enemy army is breaking. So if we can get this into a chain route, we might be able to. We've won. There we go. We've got a mine. Claim that victory. End battle. Decisive victory. Now we did take some significant casualties there on our on the infantry that we sent up first. Now they were getting shot at by those arrow towers, and I think Huang Zhong took quite a lot of damage from the arrow towers. But we can now sit in the mine and get some replenishment. And although some of these units are still alive, because this is a garrison, we don't need to worry about this army surviving and running off. They'll be wiped out, and I'll take over in control of the garrison. Which hopefully means if I get attacked, then I'll be able to call on this selection of units myself, which should help to balance if they send in a bigger army. Plus that is a pretty defensive area, and with trebuchets inside that defensive area, we'll get some
我至
pretty
此城，
nice
必须
artillery
之
fire.
日以应时。
And I've got the momentum bonus for getting 3 settlements. From each according to their ability. My lord, the generals under your command are talented individuals, each with an array of skills they can put to use in improving your realm. In each commandery they can be sent on assignments to oversee and improve the infrastructure, both military and civic, of your lands. Each character has different qualities to bring to these endeavours, so inspect your options carefully. Send any character on assignment. I think we'll get this immediately. Yep, we did, because we've already got characters out on assignments. Liu Biao considers China's future and his place in it. You have long been known for your steadfast, if local, rule, but the time has come to rise above your station and be more, especially if the tyrant is to be finally defeated. Through your statecraft, your economic endeavours, and even through war, you must make your name known across the land as someone capable of guiding the empire through these tumultuous times. We just need to reach 2nd faction rank, and we're on our way to doing that. So we now have this jade mine. We can actually upgrade it straight away, although it is going to take 5 turns, but it gives it a pretty hefty garrison there. And given that this is now conquered enemy territory, I'm inclined to give it this. So we'll give it that. We've got a pretty decent income now. This mine is giving us a huge income bonus. Yeah, we're getting 90 extra income a turn. Very, very nice bonus. And we've also split up Yuan Shu's territory. So he now has this iron mine, and I don't know where his army is. I don't know if it's currently down there or if it's up in his northern territory. But he's only got a rank 2 town, so it's not going to have a huge garrison. And with trebuchets, we get a nice bonus in sieges, so we'll see about where that goes. But I think that's let's just check. People of merit, don't need to worry about that. Diplomatic reports. Oh, no, that's fine. That was me trespassing in enemy territory. Oh, we got a composite bow. That's a very nice ancillary. I might give that to Kuai Liang if he doesn't currently have an ancillary. He doesn't have a bow. Makes him a bit more useful because at the moment I don't really want him getting into combat as a strategist, so having a bow, even if it's not an amazing bow, it's definitely useful. Right, I think that's a good point to end after taking the Jade Mine. Right, so this is going to be the end of the video. Once again, thank you to Creative Assembly for providing the review copy of the game, and we'll definitely be looking to record a bit more in this. Jacob and I are going to try and do a recording over the weekend so that we can get him in doing commentary. We only have the one copy of the game, so we can't do multiplayer just yet, but we'll certainly be aiming to do multiplayer when the game actually fully releases on the 23rd. And we should at least be able to get him in to do some commentary. He's not really experienced with Total War, so I'll kind of be showing him the ropes. And yeah, I think it's a good point to end. So thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned on the channel, and if you wanted to see us do more of this sort of gameplay commentary, please leave a comment below, like the video and whatnot. We're certainly interested in doing more like this, so if it's something you enjoy, stay tuned.